Good morning, traders, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show. I'm your host, Gates Adams, and I am so stoked to be here with you guys today. I don't know if you guys have been playing in the charts. Obviously, some things are pretty much a mess, and I know a lot of people are really not super stoked about what's going on. If you're short, if you've got yourself some leeway, there's probably some opportunity. That is not trading advice. Please do not take it as such. However, the show goes on, and we have an awesome show for you today. Now, first and foremost, I want to just do a little bit of a house cleaning here. New milestone for Apex Trader Funding, officially over $250 million. It's with a B dollars paid out to traders through Apex Trader Funding. So I know we talk about these milestones, but I just every time I see this, it just boggles the mind. At the end of the day, paid out to traders is the biggest thing that counts, in over $250 million. So that's super exciting. As usual, we are going to be giving away three evaluations through the course of the show. So you should have I don't have the chat. Oh, there's the chat. Okay. So you should have the forms in the chat. So make sure you fill that out. Get your chance at winning one of those evaluations. Last week's winners, we have Joe. I think that's Michael and Mila Drew. So congratulations to you guys. You should have all the information on that. If not, that'll be coming soon. Winners from this week should be getting the information on how to get those set up by the end of the week. So make sure you get that all taken care of and good to go. Now, I'm super excited about today's show. We don't necessarily have a lot of repeat visitors on the show, but this one I'm particularly excited about. This is the first guest I ever had on the Trader Bacon Show. To date, he's the only guest I have ever had on the Forge Trader podcast. One of my favorite people that I have gotten to know through the course of this trading journey and doing the show and doing a lot of the stuff that I do. I'm so excited to bring my buddy Roach back in on this episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now. Roach, what's going on, my man?
My man Gates, what's going on, my brother? What's going on?
Oh, man, I am so excited to have you back on the show. I meant what I said in that intro. You were definitely one of my favorite traders I've gotten to know through this process, and always just insightful and fun and exciting. So thanks for spending a little bit more time with us today. Man, I can't believe it's been over a year since we had you on.
Yeah, man, over a year now. That seems like eons ago, long time ago now, right? When I first met you.
It does. But of course, we've been in contact since then. So yeah. You know, you and I obviously get to chat. I loved having you on the Forge Trader podcast. That was so much fun, and I haven't looked at the stats, but I'm inclined to say probably the most watched episode that I've had.
Hey, we're doing some good things. We're doing some good things, giving the people some good insight, and just again, testament to Apex, right? Like, I just met Gates on the side. Could have been an interview, just whatever. I never talked to him again, but good people over here at Apex. All good people.
Well, it helps when we got great people to talk to. Now, I just look, it's been over a year, and maybe some of the current viewers don't know your story. So if I can take a little liberty and share like the quick snippet of how you got into trading. So now you're from Jamaica, right?
Yes, sir. That's right, brother.
Now, at one point you were working in pest control, and we're going to go ahead and say that's why you chose the name Roach. But you were working in pest control, and you were working in somebody's house, and he wasn't giving you any attention. He was just glued to his screen, and finally you're like, hey man, what's going on? And he shared that he was trading. I guess at the time was making a couple grand on his trade. Am I getting my numbers right?
Yeah.
And so without being totally punny, it kind of gave you the bug to find out a little bit more about trading. And you're a self-taught trader, right?
100%.
So you decided that this was something that you wanted to do. This guy was going to share some insight with you, and he kind of failed. He eventually, I think, got it to you, but you decided, look, I'm going to figure this out. This is my future. This is what I'm doing. So I'm going to go watch every YouTube video on the planet, and I'm going to figure out who's good, who's bad, and who's indifferent. So fast forward a few years, you are now not just a funded and consistently paid trader with Apex. You are now a real estate investor. You are now a businessman in a few different capacities. And did all of this stem from trading profits?
All of it, Gates. 100%. But that's because I committed 100%. Let's put it like that off the rip, right? Like, even from that day, like I always tell you, from that day, I was just like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. If I could even just do that one day for the whole month, I could be good. Because again, I don't know who's been to Jamaica. If you know about Jamaica, like I can speak English, but if I want to, I could talk Jamaican, but nobody would really understand, right? Right. So at the same time, not because I speak like this or how I am, $100 in Jamaica is 15,000. This guy just told me he made at least 3,000. That means I was outside this guy's house going around for 10 minutes, and he just made 300,000. That's three. You know what I mean? In my eyes, I don't know what everybody else is looking at, but even in USA, $3,000 is still, a good lump sum of cash, regardless.
Look, I don't care who you are. This is, but obviously you immediately saw the potential and just ran with it. So what was your primary source of information in learning how to trade?
YouTube. And that's why I stress so hard. And that's why I even stream on YouTube. I mean, I can't lie, Gates. I don't want to do it anymore sometimes, right? Because I'm done within 20 minutes, 30 minutes now. I just want to do my thing and go about my day. I'm doing some farming now, so I really want to learn more about the farm and kind of be outside, not just pay people to do it. You want to know to do it yourself, inside out. Yeah. So
it's your business. It's your farm. You gotta take that ownership.
Yeah. Get your hands dirty. Biggest thing, you start trading, you don't become we call it stush. I don't know, a little oh, you don't want to do anything hard work now because you just work on the computer. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's ever been your MO.
Never, ever. Exactly. So staying focused, but completely 100% all YouTube, Gates. But you gotta trial by error and finding people who actually, I don't know, who actually show you something that's enlightening. I don't want people showing me profits, you know? And that was one of the biggest things with the guy trading. He would put his thing in points. Like some of the first people I found, like Bye Money and Thomas Wade, these dudes are showing you points and ticks. Immediately mindset change. Like he has the skill. He kind of wants you to focus on the skill too. And that's where I always started off, right? Because doing pest control, you don't got cash to trade, man. You just making cash to do what you do. I'm a little skilled in the brain, so you think and stretch your cash and make smart moves and stuff like that back home. Because you're there, you send money back here, start a little thing, but you're just cruising. You're not doing nothing surplus or big, you know what I'm saying? But then now with trading, I was just like, all right, first thing, started realizing trading time. I can't work anymore because the trading time is when I'm at work. So you got to make a choice. And I'm not really a 1 foot in, 1 foot out guy. I'm intense with it, or nah, I'm not with it. You can immediately tell if I'm in the room. I like you or I don't like you. Same thing.
Well, and I got to say that commitment to the work is probably one of the bigger reasons that you've been as successful as you have. And, we're not going to necessarily go into numbers, but I'm going to say it's not small pocket change that we're talking about here, right? You and I have had more deeper conversations about that. But so you went all in. You learned how to trade. Now, how was the struggle for you when you were going through the process, when you were going through your first evaluations? What did that look like for you?
Man, just 100% emotional roller coaster.
And happened to me last week.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, not even in the beginning. It's still happening. Last week, I'm having roller coasters, but now you kind of enjoy the ride, right? Or you kind of know how to do the ride. Before first eval, man, I'm trying to think putting trades in the wrong way, not knowing what you're really doing, right? Selling and buying, and then not even being in some trades, not knowing what to do because you're so you're so lost in the deer in the headlights. You don't know what you're looking for. It's running in profit, just literally freezing. What do I do? Do I close this? I got no plan of action, right? Then, of course, you would say you're focused on the skill, but nobody tells you once you get in the trade, you just go blank. You forgot. Me and you could be having a conversation right now. In the next 30 seconds, we get in the trade, and if we're not mentally prepared for that day, we forgot every single thing that we talked about. Okay, so we're going to go in here and get 2 points. We get in the trade. Yeah, let's hold this for 10. Let's see if it runs. Hey, it's coming back. Let's make sure we cut it at 2 points. Let's give it a little more room. We're looking at the profit. So I just kept getting drugged. I call it getting drugged. I kept realizing, dude, I keep going in here and I'm waking up after my trades. What's going on?
Well, and of course, these are all things that every trader who's been trading for more than about 5 minutes has experienced, and it is part of the journey. It is part of the process, and it's a learning curve. But you can take that and you can use it as frustration, or you can use it as a lesson. Clearly, you've had an opportunity to use it a lesson, and I think I got some people in here who are pretty excited to see the meat, so to speak. So why don't we talk a little bit about your trading? So what is it that you have developed over the course of the last? How long has this been? This journey?
So now it's about 2 years, right? About to be 2.5, 2, 3, something like
you're
that.
One of the fast ones. So let's take a look at some charts and let's take a look at what it is that you're actually doing that's putting this lifestyle and this money in your pocket.
100%. So let me switch out over here. So we got the chart up now.
There we go. It's There we go.
Perfect. So even today I reloaded this, so let's make it a little smaller. So I am a mixture of all types of trading.
Okay.
And that's why I don't get a lot of people to follow me. I don't get a lot of people to, online, blah, 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 because I'm mixing it up. People think it's just one way and only this works. But like we always discuss, right? I got multiple ways, and I'm going to show you how I add it up. So you come in here, I got my high, I got my low. Let's say we're just doing this right here, right? And I actually took these trades, so there's not financial advice, but I'm not talking about anything I'm not doing.
There are caveats all over this thing, right? Yes. No, this is not for financial advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. But hey, I did it. So take what you want from that. So yeah, I come in here, I see the high and I see the low. Now I see people don't even draw this trend line, right? For me today, I'm drawing this trend line because you can see it. Whether we want to agree or not that it works, right? It works. But I also have an EMA here. And every once in a while, I have a clearer chart, right? So I have like my higher time frame charts here. You see, there's no drawings here. I'm just looking at price. So I'm gonna give you a full rundown of how I come on here for the day. If you want, that's what you want, right?
Let's do this, man.
Yeah. So if I'm coming in here today, I'm not thinking about buying. Right? I'm not really thinking about buying. Even if there's buying opportunities, I'm gonna wait for the sell opportunity. Right? Because that's really where we are. So I would already be going down in here. What might keep me away from today is I have no fair value gap on the higher time frame. But I'm also keeping in mind, right? So if you go in here, not sure if you guys know what a fair value gap is, but I think these things are pretty simple if you're trading for a while, right? It's very easy to understand to me. You have one candle here, you have another candle here, and then you will come in here and have another candle. This candle close. Can you see the drawings, Gates?
Yeah, it's a little dark.
Oh yeah, okay. So this candle close right here. I should use different color than black. This candle close here, and this candle open. As long as they don't overlap, just this little space in here. Don't even think about anything difficult, anything hard, right? Just this candle close, this candle open. That's a little gap. I like when my price has gaps like that because I know it's supposed to get a pullback and it's more fluid. Keep it simple, right? I just learned that about a month or two ago, by the
Really?
way. For
Okay.
everybody thinking I know this for a long time. I just learned that. So again, it's not one way, because when I came on my chart, I never used to do that. I like to point those things out, They call these strategies like ICT. I have ICT strategy. I have two-legged pullback strategy. I have strictly a momentum strategy now, right? I've learned you got to skin the cat always possible. So
I use an expression essentially like that all the time, and I think some people look at me a little cross-eyed, but that's okay. I'm still going to use it.
yeah, no, that's what we're doing here. You gotta.
Right. There's your
It's not
gap.
just one way. Yeah. So now I come
There's
down
your
to my
entry into
hour.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exact. And it's really. I promise you guys, the more you learn trading, the more it gets more boring, right? Because I don't have excitement for that, right? I know I got to sit here and wait this time out, right? And either it's going to keep dropping or we're going to come back and pull into it. And we
So
can
real
say
quick,
that's
Matt asked what time frame you were on. I know before you were on the 4 hour, now you're on the 1 hour,
now.
right? Or
Yeah, now we're on the hour, right? So we're just dropping down, just zooming in, dropping down. Even if you take shorts here now, you have to keep in mind we have no fair value gap again, right? We had one here and we hit it early. Again, that's why we dropped so early today. If everybody's probably waking up like, damn, because I had this target down here, right? These are we don't have it all the way, but if you look on the daily chart, you can see these are lows here that we just swept. But we wake up and it's already done. So that's what I mean. Today, a little turned offish, right? But it's going short. That's my bias. So I'm taking shorts, but I'm really looking out for it because I know at any time it can bounce.
Sure.
So keep dropping down, right? We got the 15-minute. So I don't start trading until about 9:45. And my time window is 9:50 to 10:10.
Okay. Wow.
So
That's a pretty quick window.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So about 10:10, I'll give it some grace, 10:15, 10:20, but that's about it. So when I first get on here, I would be thinking, okay, this is a gap. We're about to hit it, right? At this time, 9:45, 9:50. You can say up here or the 10:50. So I'm looking for the short. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this is kind of the short I took here. And then it went back up. Yeah. So now I'm looking, right? Because I wasn't on here again before. So 5-minute, you keep dropping down. I got this gap. You have this gap. You can see this. This is not like right out of nowhere. You're expecting it. You have another gap up here when you drop down on the 5-minute. And all of these you want to mark out before you get to your trading chart. I trade on a tick chart.
Okay.
And I used to think a 1-minute chart was too fast. Come to find out again a month ago, my tick chart is faster than even the 1-minute chart.
I do like the 1 minute myself, but I probably need to slow it down to the 5 is sort of the impression that I'm getting.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I just take it easy, Gates, because again, not so much noise like as this lower time frame, and it's either going to work or it don't work.
Well, and that's a great attitude right there, because I think that's where a lot of us get bogged down. We have systems and strategies that work. And I mean, a lot of it really depends on, and of course, you've got your win rate, your win percentage. You also have your risk reward, and those two go hand in hand. If you've got a good risk reward, you can be profitable on 40%, which means that you have to learn how to be frustrated 60% of the time and not let it affect you.
60%. Oh my days. It sounds like you're preaching. That's what they
right?
say.
I'm preaching because I'm trying to get it ingrained in my own head so that I can get past some of the struggles that I still fight with.
Hell yeah. And that's part of the trick, right? Like I'm teaching everyone online and YouTube. So that's just for me too, right? Like every time I show somebody new, they don't understand it. No one understands it the same way, whether people want to believe it or not. So I have to be breaking it down 6 different ways for 6 different people, right? It's just getting more and more engraved in my head. All right. So now we come here to the tick chart.
Right.
All of this I just draw, right? I'm just drawing all of this. I come here. Let's see the time.
So we're on 2,000 ticks. Is that right?
Yep. Now we move from that 5-minute, right? Now we're on the 2K. So now I'm just
Mhm.
moving down and I'm just slowly looking for my window. I'm slowly looking for my window and I'm slowly looking for what I see. You see between this blue line here and this blue line here, that's my trading window.
Okay.
That's where I take my opportunities. After that, everything else is gravy for me.
Right.
Right?
So let me ask you, because this doesn't come up very often. You know,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of people trading on the time-based charts, which is probably more common than anything. What is it about the tick chart that drew you in? Why is it that you like the tick chart for your actual entries?
Yeah. So again, it's just me trying stuff, right? And just
Yeah.
sticking with some of the people I see showing me consistency. Like I
Mhm.
got the tick chart from this guy, Thomas Wade, really. Bye Money would
Mhm.
show you the tick chart as well. But I really started watching Thomas Wade, how he would talk about it. He would say
Mhm.
it's like trades, let's see, trades it like it's not by by the time. It's every
Mhm.
tick is a transaction. So to me, he just kept saying it's a person's vote, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Um, so then if it's a person's vote, and I really started learning trading that I need to see people getting trapped every time.
Mhm.
I
Right.
just think that chart just gave you so much insight. Like it just made sense to me, when I put it together. I want to see people getting trapped. If I see people getting trapped on this chart, like right here, this bar right here, of course it's the same on the minute. But to me, not knowing trading, I just thought about it so much more literal. Like these people right here started selling. Let's say in my tick chart, obviously it counts down. Every bar it counts down from 2000 to zero. So from
Sure.
right here to right here, you might have 300 out of the 2000 ticks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now when I see that and it starts to wick back up, I know those people are highly likely to have gotten trapped. 300 versus 1700 people.
Right.
See that's how I think about it. You're just going to get washed right here. Those are the type of trap bars. So that was really it. And I've traded the time because I found more people using the time now and showing me good stuff too. So I don't,
And
whatever you want to trade.
that's the thing. And I was resistant to this for a very long time because, Daryl and I go way back and he's got his way of teaching people how to trade. And I learned his strategy really well. I didn't execute his strategy very well, but I was
Yeah.
emotionally tied to the way that my buddy trades, right? And
Yeah.
when I started to find my next level, if you will, was when I completely abandoned that and started looking at other things. Now, there's nothing wrong with the way he trades. He's one of the most prolifically successful traders I've ever known.
Yeah.
Yet, for my risk tolerance, for my psyche, it didn't work as well. Because one of the big reasons was because it was the risk reward ratio was imbalanced. It was 9 tick profit targets with 21 tick stop loss. That was a big struggle for me because you have to be almost perfect. You got to be over 75% win rate to be
Yeah.
profitable,
Very,
which I
very high win
was
rate.
until I had like 2 losses in a row and it messed with my head. I knew that I had to get like 5 or 6 more trades just to get back to where I was. And that was a bigger struggle for me than just being able to keep through it. Whereas if I take a loss now, one trade brings me back out, and I don't have to be as precise and perfect, I guess, if you will. So for you, what are you looking
Yeah.
for in terms of risk reward ratio? Do you have a set standard, or do you kind of let the chart tell you? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, exactly. So the chart will tell me like my last signal bar, like I'll show you in this trade, that's usually my stop loss. I think
Okay.
it's very hard to say you have a set risk to reward, especially these days in trading, because then you're just gonna not trade a lot of the trades. Now, when you're
Right.
starting out, yeah, because that's literally what I used to do, right? If a bar was more than 10 points on the Nasdaq, this is the ES, but even like on the ES, let's say it was more than 2 points, I'm not
Mhm.
getting in the trade simply because I wasn't in the place to handle losing more than $200 to $400 a day,
Right.
you know? So you want to be picky like that when you start, I think.
Sure. you want to know what you can handle. And you know, I've talked about the first complete meltdown that I had last year was when I upped my position size. I went from one mini to two, and one loss looked like two, which in my head was 5 wins to get through it. And then it just completely melted down. So you have to build that tolerance to the level that you want to trade to. Now, you don't ever have to build it up. You can always keep it at the same level. I like adding more accounts. To me, that is much more easily acceptable in my head because I'm only looking at one, you know. But that's a factor that traders have to consider when they decide how it is.
That's a good trick.
Sorry, go ahead.
100%. No, 100%. No, you're right, man. I'm just saying, because it's tough.
Now people can follow you and they can watch
losing 200.
Yeah, exactly. When you're used to losing 200 and all of a sudden you're down 500, that's pretty brutal, and it'll mess with you. So at this point, you are trading online. You are streaming your trading. I know it's on Facebook because I see you on there all the time. But you're also on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Where do people find you?
I'm also on YouTube. YouTube, Roach Gang Industry. You got me on Instagram, roachgang.industry as well. You'll just never forget that name. So I know you'll easily remember it if you're trying to find me.
You will not. And that's one of the things is that you are obviously such a memorable guest. You're just a memorable person. And all of those things sort of kind of come into play, which is why I think you and I have had so much fun getting to know each other over the course of the last, year and a half-ish or so. And
man, 100%. And you're a cool dude.
I appreciate that, man. I love what you're doing. Look, your story to me is like the epitome of like that perfect trading story. You found something, you latched onto it, you went all in, you didn't let anything get in your way. And as most traders know, there is so much that's there and available to get in your way when it comes to trading success. So as always, dude, my hat's off to you. You're an inspiration to me. You're probably about half my, I don't think I know how old you are, but you're probably about half my age. And it's just so wild to me just to see what you've done in such a short period of time, relatively speaking, because you've been doing this for over a year as far as the level of success, I know for sure. And you've been trading for 2 years. So that tells me that you progressed pretty quickly.
We're putting in work. And we're putting in work, Gates. That's what that means. We're putting in work. And like I said, we're not playing around. No half in, no half out. I don't know if you wanted me to finish this, but even this, like I said, what I'm showing you here, I just added this to my arsenal like 2 months. You just got to keep trying to grow and get committed. If you're not committed, get committed.
Right.
It's as simple as that, man.
I had someone tell me a long time ago, you got to do a whole lot of things right now that you're not going to get paid for so that later you can get paid for a whole lot of things that you don't have to do. And I think when it comes to the dynamics of trading, that's a pretty spot on analogy. And I think that's something that you have absolutely embodied in not just in your trading, but in your life. And I can see it in some of the other things that you're doing that we've talked about. Dude, I love having you on the show. I love chatting with you. We are rounding it out here, so I want to make sure that we wrap everything up. So
we're out of here.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't filled out the form for the evaluations, make sure you get that done. I know for a lot of traders, that's the first step is figuring out where the money's going to come from, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be very, very simple. I will note that right now, apextraderfunding.com, use promo code Benzinga, and that will get you 80% off any size evaluation. And I know that at least until the 15th of August, the 150K, the 250K, and the 300K all have the $85 lifetime fee for the PA. So if you pass it by August 15th, you're good to go for that discount. Big discount, by the way. And also 1 day to pass. Some traders, that's a blessing. Some traders, it's a curse. So just figure out who and what you are when you go into that mindset. But it is available to you. You don't have to do it in a day. It's just an option.
300Ks for contract. Catch this inversion from here or here to here on the daily basis, you guys will be good. But get a 300K account. That's what I'm doing, right?
Not to be
That's
taken
what
as
I'm doing.
financial
I don't know
advice. Do what works for you, for sure.
I don't know what you guys are doing though, but I'm doing 300Ks for contracts, and I got room to lose. I got room to run. I got nothing to complain about. So run it up, guys.
I love it. Well, you and I are going to have to catch up a little bit
man.
later because I want to hear a little bit more about some of the stuff that you're doing. But for everybody else, thank you guys for spending some time with us today. Always a pleasure having Roach on here. And I can't wait for next week. We're going to have another great show for you on the next Trader Bacon Show. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and